Hi everyone, my name is Andy Letcher and this is
Rex Van Ryn.
And we are two of the three people who brought you the English Magic Tarot. I don't know if you can see that okay, there's a little bit of reflection there. And today we are going to be unboxing the tarot. Now this is a video we've been wanting to make for about a year. The tarot came out this time last year. We haven't got around to it yet, so I'm sorry it's taken us a year to do this. But we are going to unbox it right here, right now for you.
Well, it is the anniversary of the tarot. The tarot came out almost a year ago on the 13th of October, so 2016. So this seemed like an appropriate time to do it, like right now. Steve Dooley, the third member of the team, sends his apologies. He can't make it on this video, and looking at the space we got, I don't think there was going to be room for him anymore.
It would be a bit of a squeeze.
It would be a bit of a squeeze, but we could have put him on the end there. But Steve, when you watch this, sorry you're not here, man.
So do you want to say who you are, Rex? And,
yes. Well, okay. So
how the tarot came to be before we unbox it.
Oh gosh, right. So yes, indeed. So I'm self-proclaimed sort of greatest magician in all England.
Yeah.
And
whatever.
That, pretty much that. And that's all you need to know, really. Except that I dreamt this up. I drew it. Steve coloured it and created the artwork, very, very beautiful artwork around the production. And Andy wrote the story of the tarot.
I wrote the book. But
he wrote the book.
It's fair to say that you're an old school comic artist, are you not?
It's fair to say that, yes. Well, I don't know about fair, but it's true to say that I've been drawing comics all my life. That's my kind of my big thing is comic books. And the tarot really does reflect sort of, 1960s, 70s comic book way of seeing the world. Anyone who's ever read any Marvel or DC or even any 2000 AD or anything of that kind will recognise the kind of the influences and the style there.
And also British comics.
Comics of the 60s, yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, 60s and 70s.
Yeah, they were a really big influence on me. Things like Smash, Power, Wham, they were called the Power comics, and they reprinted some of the Marvel and DC stuff, or no, actually just the Marvel stuff. And it kind of all went along with the British comics of the day.
And you even did comics for 2000 AD, didn't you?
I did a Tharg's Future Shock.
Hey, Tharg's Future Shocks. Anyway.
So here we go.
Here we go. We're going to open this box.
Let's peel this cellophane off, which normally takes people forever, but not me. Look at that.
It's almost like
gone
he's prepared
in a flash. That can go down there. And
how's it feel to you as a box?
Nice? Oh yes, okay. So we need to do an actual unboxing thing.
Yeah, tell them about
where
the
we
box.
talk about it. The thing is, I counted just today before we started doing this video. I counted 22 unboxings on YouTube.
22.
22. So they are there. Some of them are kind of just quite short affairs, and some of them just simply kind of go through the whole thing. But there are a lot on there. And
well, this is the original.
But
this is going to be the best unboxing you've ever seen.
What we're going to do is bring something totally unique to this unboxing because
are we?
We are indeed,
okay.
Because we made it.
We made it. Well, we didn't actually make the box, but we made the content.
No, in fact, when I first saw the box, that was a big surprise to me. So there's the lid. Oh, that's an email coming through. Never mind.
Here it is. That's the lid of the box, everyone. Now, some people we've discovered like there to be an image on the inside of the box, but I'm sorry, there is no image on the inside of the box. I hope you can live with that. It's a pretty damn good picture on the front. I don't know if you
recognise that.
Do you recognise the person?
Yeah, you got.
We might come on to that later, but
we will.
Rex did make me the fool, which is quite
without his permission, incidentally.
With my permission.
Everyone else, there's a whole bunch of people on the major arcana. I think about 10 friends of ours are on the majors, and I asked them, all of them, if they wanted to be on the deck and which card they would like to be, and they all chose a card, including Andy's good lady, who is Justice.
She's Justice.
She's Justice. But I didn't ask Andy. I don't know why. And he played a big part in this, but I just thought, well, he's got to be the fool. So there's your book, Andy. That's what you wrote. And do you
book.
want to show that off?
Here's the book. It's kind of book-sized and book-weighted. Maybe I should say how I came to write the book.
Yes.
So Rex conceived the whole thing, the English Magic Tarot.
The way you bask in the glory.
Go on. Well, I'll tell you in a bit how you came to do each card. So the cards were done, and basically I locked myself away in a shed up here on Dartmoor, or
That's
are we
true.
in New York? Maybe we're... Who knows where we are? On Dartmoor, I locked myself away in a shed, and every morning I would choose a card, and I would sit, and then I would write about it, and I would wait and see how inspiration struck. And so I don't know if you can see this, but in the book, every card gets its own page. There's a description, an interpretation, how you might read it. There are some spreads in the back, which are based on traditional tarot lore, but also moments of inspiration in my shed.
Wow.
There's a whole section at the back about developing a memory palace or a memory theatre. Now this is a magical technique from English magic that not many people know about, so I was very pleased to be able to try and revive that. That's a magical technique that would have been in use when English magic was at its heyday, back in the 17th century. And there's an introduction, and above all there's a foreword by Philip Carr-Gomm. Now, if you want to know more about English magic, I thoroughly recommend his book. Is it called The Book of English Magic? The Little Book of English Magic? The Book of English Magic. We'll put a link down below, written with Richard Heygate. Fantastic book about English magic. He's written the foreword to this book. Does anyone read the book that goes with the tarot cards? Probably not. I had fun writing it.
Oh, I think they will. In fact,
well, you should. It's brilliant.
Should read it all. Most of the people who unbox this love the book.
Hey,
Yeah,
thank you for reading
I've
it.
seen.
I had no idea whether anyone was going to read it, so I'm delighted.
They have. You should get on YouTube more. So here we go. These are the cards. They come like this, with backs and everything. And I just need to say when anyone ever does any of these films, they always say, "Oh, we'll put a link down below." So when I do that, I'm just going to go like that above, because as above, so below.
Oh,
and all of that. So here we go. They come.
You've been working on that one, haven't you?
No,
You have.
Come on, it would
You've
be
been
better.
practicing.
If I'd been working on it, it would be better than that. So they come in a little white. Do you want to do that one?
Yeah, I'll do this
They
one.
come in a little white wrapper, which I didn't get undone beforehand. Oh, there you go. That's
Okay.
good. And
You got that.
look, they're all over the place.
There are these
I've
two.
got,
I don't know what you call these extra cards.
They're called
Do you know?
the first edition cards.
First edition cards.
Yeah.
There you go. Can you
But
see that?
They will only appear in the first edition of the book.
Okay.
They will never. You'll never appear again.
One's got this strange beastie on it. I don't know if you can see
Kind
that.
of like a devil.
Kind of like a devil.
Yeah.
And one's got a joker. A bit like a traditional pack of cards. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. So the thing about these cards is they won't. You won't see those again. So you need to buy this particular packet. So that's the sales pitch.
Okay.
It's as good as it gets, I'm afraid.
Well, that brilliant.
So we've got. We've got the coins and we've got the cups here. There was somebody commented that the aces looked a bit like sort of set them up as schools, like in Harry Potter or something.
Oh right.
Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I quite like that.
That seemed to be that wasn't really the intention. Just drawing on them.
Well, maybe now's the time to say how you came to draw each card.
Okay, thank you. So what happened was I was working on a book called John Barleycorn, and for all kinds of reasons I had lots of days off, and while I was doing that I found myself drawing a tarot. There was a tarot in...
As you do.
Yeah.
Just drew a tarot.
Drew a tarot. There was a tarot deck in John Barleycorn, but I only ever did the major arcana. And so I think I was thinking about that while things were going on. So I drew, in my spare time, I drew this deck, and it just kind of happened that on one occasion I was lucid dreaming. My practice as a magician is a lot of lucid dreaming, and I've got this reclining chair which kind of delivers just the right angle.
Okay.
You've seen it. You've seen the chair?
I'm not sure I have.
Maybe I'll show you later.
I'm not sure I've been allowed into the inner
No,
sanctum.
you can't have a go on it. But
Okay.
so I've got this chair, and I recline on it, and I would play ambient music or drum beat or something that I felt was connected with whatever card I was doing, and I'd literally dream up an image, and then I'd finish my journey or dream, and I'd get up and I'd draw it pretty much as I saw it, directly onto paper. I didn't really bother with scribbles or sketches, and then I would refine it later. So that's how they came to be.
I don't suppose you've got any of the original artwork here in the room?
Oh, yes.
Oh! Well, fancy that. What a
You mean
coincidence.
Like the original artwork.
Yeah, the original.
Of course, yeah. I can show you that.
Why don't you show the people
Okay, I'll do that.
how the cards originally look?
Let's just put those there for a moment. Should we put them on?
We're running out of room here.
Yeah, we are. We've got a limited desk in my New York office.
Oh, here we go. Look
So
at this.
it was done like this.
Wow.
Now this is our friend Andy, right here. So they're that sort of size.
I wonder if you can see.
Okay.
I'm going to hold that a little bit closer,
Yeah.
so they're almost the same size.
So you can see the black inks were reproduced, and then Steve.
Did you draw them in ink straight away?
No. I did draw them in pencil, and then I inked them, and then rubbed out the pencil lines.
So that's the old school way of doing comics.
The old school way of drawing comic books.
Wow.
And then they went over to Steve, and Steve did a beautiful job with the colour, as you can see. I mean, he's made this black and white image look just quite staggering.
And did you give
500%.
Steve any direction?
Well, we sorted out a palette. We kind of looked at the palette together because the kind of thing I was looking for was, I don't know if you've seen that old show Carnival.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I wanted that to me was tarot. So I sort of drew I sort of drew on that, and we checked out colours, and we kind of created a palette. And we had decided already what colours went with which cards.
I'm getting a sore arm
Both
here.
my body. Put it all down. So I'll just skip through some of these, and we can. Why don't we pick out some of the people that we know as examples?
I'm trying to keep up here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go and find. Let's find. Oh, here we are. This is a friend of ours. This is Ruth Holly, who you might know from. She used to be on Facebook, and she's longer.
There she is.
There she
Look at
is.
that.
Yeah. And that actually does look like Ruth.
What, the lion or the woman?
The lion. Yeah, the lion. Oh, look. Here's somebody we both know.
Ah, yes.
Now, it's got. I think. Is it fair to say, or is it okay to say?
I think it is okay to say.
Okay. When I drew this of Nomi, which
This is my wife. This is my missus.
your wife.
Who chose to be Justice.
She did choose to be Justice, and she was pregnant at the time.
She was.
Now,
And I think that if you know that adds a new take on Justice, the Justice card.
Oh yeah,
That she's pregnant. Isn't that interesting?
and look at what happened. She was pregnant, and what did she have?
Twins.
She had twins,
Which is why I'm looking so haggard and tired, and I'm not the youthful, svelte person you see on the Fooled card.
Well, the twins reminded me of the scales of Justice. There, the two scales.
Show them that one.
Okay.
Show them the Hanged Man. Now, I've been using the tarot since I was, when I was at school. I think I did my first tarot reading when I was 11. And I've always been intrigued by the Hanged Man card. But it's always seemed really kind of flat and lacking movement. And here's one of the great things about Rex as a comic book artist. Look at the movement in that card. Look at that perspective on the Hanged Man. It's unclear.
Go on, I dare you. Go on, sorry, go on.
It's almost like he's on a bungee rope and could spring up at any time. I love that. I love that perspective. There's so much movement in that image, and I think there's a lot of movement in all the cards, and that's one of the things I think that makes the English Magic Tarot unique, is that there's something unresolved about each of the images, that you almost expect them to resolve into another image, just like one of the frames in a graphic novel. And this was something we wanted to convey to people, was this idea of storytelling in the tarot, that you're using tarot as a way to take control of the stories that you tell yourself and to change them. And if you get this in a reading, it's not just this fixed thing. You're in this state of the hangman, of, I don't know, sacrificing yourself to yourself, or stasis, or whatever it is. There's movement in there. There's always the possibility of change. And that's embedded into every single one of the cards. And I love that about this deck.
Good. You know far more about Hangman than me.
He's inspiring confidence, isn't he, at this stage?
No, it's the truth. So, here's one. We just need to look at the devil. This is our good friend Jason of England, who, if you've got anything to do with Norse mythology, you'll know who.
Observant viewers will notice I'm wearing a Thor's hammer made by Jason of England. Other jewellers are available.
Apparently so, yeah, even in town.
But there he is.
But we don't talk about them. So that's, I think that'll be that for that. So that was the...
So, do you want to say something about English magic? We've already mentioned a very good book on English magic.
Well, you are the authority on English magic. I mean, everything I do with magic these days is top secret. You know,
okay.
So I can't really...
He can't talk about it these days.
I just can't talk about it.
He's involved in shady orders.
Some may say.
English magic. What is English magic? That's a really good question. Well, there's something about this funny little island of ours, this funny little island of the British Isles, and England in particular, that has produced over the centuries many, many magicians. We can trace this all the way back to the Bronze Age and stone circle builders and the builders of prehistoric monuments. But also more recently, in the 19th century, we had this extraordinary revival of occultism with the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, figures like Austin Osman Spare, Aleister Crowley, through to the 20th century and the revival of contemporary paganism, both Wicca, with figures like Gerald Gardner and Alex Sanders, and Druidry, modern Druidry, and also the Norse pagan traditions as well, the Germanic pagan traditions. So there's something about England that has produced magicians, and there's something, an almost indefinable thing that comes through the landscape, through the land, through the language, that has produced English magic. Now, I'm hesitant to try and define it too much because I think it is kind of indefinable. It's a character, it's a feeling. And we wanted to share that with the world through the tarot, to reinvent the tarot through that lens. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that buried within the cards, I'm going to try and find good examples, are all sorts of codes and riddles.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that because some of them, or the...
I don't know if you can you see? I'm going to stand
Well, it's easier on a...
Oh yeah, can you see there's a little bit of script there? Just here, there's a bit of script. There's a bit of secret stuff there. There's some runes there on this guy's leg. This is the world, by the way. Very interesting take on the world. Some kind of green nature spirit there. Again, full of movement, full of energy.
I'll just hold up the magician artwork and you can see the runic letters down the side of the column there.
Let's hold him up that way.
Frame. Okay.
So this is the magician.
Yeah.
Does he look like anyone?
As a young man.
As a young man.
Just me hankering off my youth, I'm afraid. What can I tell you?
So just up here, there's some runic script. And so we've chosen scripts that have all played a part in the history of English magic. And we were inspired by those old kind of treasure hunts. I don't know if you remember a book called Masquerade that was popular in the 1970s by an extraordinary artist called Kit Williams. This was a puzzle book. Check it out online, A Masquerade by Kit Williams. And
I love that book. I tried to find it and I failed.
And there was an actual treasure at the end of it, which was this beautiful golden hair that was buried, and you had to follow all these clues and work out how to find it. Well, there was no treasure at the end of this, other than we wanted you to get to know the cards better. If you could find ways of looking at the cards differently, then we thought maybe you would see different symbolism, different meanings in the cards. Again, find new stories within them. So that's why the riddles are there. And they're all to do with English magic. So they're illuminating some aspect of English magic and drawing readers into a deeper understanding of the cards.
And if you crack the code, which many people have, there was a Facebook page at one time, I don't know if it's still there, with a whole bunch of people on it trying to sort of figure out collectively what this meant. And many people did, and some people wrote to me personally, and I sent them a little certificate and the like. And what I told to these people, the people that have been in direct contact with me, was that the one code leads to another code. It's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing process. So
you may not have solved it. There may be more.
If you get past the beginning, which I think many people did, but not many people kind of asked for their certification. Certification.
You could get certified.
You can absolutely get certified. So this anyway. Look harder. Look at what the first code reveals, and then look on. Look more at the cards, because there are more clues there into another mystery, and then another mystery, and so it goes on.
And this is all to do with English magic. The mystery, it leads you to an understanding of English magic.
So what else have we got to? Oh yes, we had an exhibition of the artwork.
Do we need to show them more cards as well?
Oh yeah, sure.
You keep talking.
It is an unboxing.
You keep talking. I'll just show cards.
You show cards. So we did the Tarot Con in London a year ago, as I said, which was a great 3-day event. I had a really, really great time there. Andy was only able to come for a short period of time, but Steve was there, and we met a lot of people. And then in February of this year, we had an exhibition of the Major Arcana at Atlantis Bookshop in Museum Street in London, and I think it was well attended. Certainly resulted in more deck sales, and that's kind of as far as we've gone with this up until now. We've just kind of let it run its course. We made a film which I called Lark in the Morning, because it's got a beautiful song on it called Lark in the Morning, I believe.
That's a famous old folk tune, isn't it?
Famous old tune. You know it?
I do, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe Andy will give us a rendering later. No, exactly. So, but someone did. Someone did give us a beautiful rendering. Anyway, check that out, because that is a forecast. Yeah, that's a forecast for the future. That little film, and I talk about Parliament being in disarray, and a lot about what's going on currently. Now, bear in mind that spread for the for that film was laid nearly 2 years ago now. So I was very impressed at what that particular spread was showing. I really want you to have a look at that and see.
You're trying to say he predicted Brexit?
Yes, I'm not only that, I predicted everything. It's all there. It's all in there.
So if you start using the English Magic Tarot, you will be able to predict world events. Nuclear war with North Korea. It's all there. It is.
Yeah.
I hope not.
No, that doesn't actually depict nuclear war.
Hey, why don't we say something about the back of the cards?
Yes.
Whose hands are those?
They're my hands. Let me. Oh, look, I have to do it that way.
Look at that.
But okay, so those are my hands. I wanted to kind of make a lasting mark on the cards. So I just drew my hands. And the other hand coming from the other direction, that's my hand too. But obviously it wouldn't quite work like that.
I love this one.
Oh yeah.
King of coins.
Yeah.
I'm not going to show you them all, I'm sorry.
No, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. No.
So just to say that we did have great expectations for the deck, and it's lived up to it. It really has. It's been.
So thank you for buying it. Is what he's trying to say.
I am indeed.
Thank you. We're really chuffed that
we're going to
so well.
we're going to put some information about where to buy it beneath later. Is that about right?
That's probably yes. Yeah. I mean, it's available from all good retailers.
Waterstones have been selling it.
American readers probably won't listeners won't know what Waterstones is.
Okay,
it's a bookshop.
Yeah, your best bet is Amazon
or Barnes and Noble.
Okay,
that's your best bet if you're in America.
Anywhere in.
I'm just wondering which. Oh, this one's good. Look at this. This is the Three of Cups. Look how many levels are going on there. Look, there's a painter. The traditional image is three women dancing and holding cups, but look, there's a different perspective on it here. The painter is painting this scene, so presumably the scene is happening behind his canvas. So we're witnessing an artist painting a picture that we can't see. All kind of cues for the imagination, for the storytelling imagination.
Yeah.
And that's what we want, is when you do a reading, is not to be hung up on fixed meanings, but to allow your storytelling, your creative side to take over. So that these are like stills from a graphic novel, and they inspire you to tell stories. I'm repeating myself, I've said this already, I'm sorry.
It's all right. But I think when we looked at sort of coming from a comics background, I wanted a deck that could be kind of placed in structures like panels on a comic, or frames of a storyboard. I wanted to be able to lay out the pages of a comic book to tell a story, which is basically what a reading is for me. So I've got a spread that I do, which is like a single page spread or a double page spread, just like a comic book. And I think you can't have a 3-page spread, can you? But if you wanted to do a 3-page spread, past, present and future, you could do
it's
that.
getting complicated.
It is. So
we've got a layout called the broadside, which is 9 cards.
That's right.
And that's a broadside, for those who don't know, was basically the internet of the 16th, 17th, possibly even 18th century. And this told news stories of the day, like, say a witch had been hung, there would be a ballad which told you the news, and it would say, sing this to this particular tune, and so you could sing it down the pub, and that way the news was spread. So that's why we named it that way. But also it's got 9 cards spread out exactly like the panels of a graphic novel, so we're bringing it up to date.
Yeah, I did do an alternative set of aces.
Oh,
which I've brought along, which is just pencil.
Crikey! Can we see them?
We can see them.
What, you're actually going to show them to viewers?
Never been seen before. I don't even think Andy has seen them. No. So when the deck is reissued, this is possibilities we don't know for sure. One of the things we might do is make it take off the frames.
Oh, the borders.
The borders.
Oh yeah, the border controversy. Oh my God, we stumbled into a crazy debate. We had no idea that some of you really dislike borders on cards. I'm sorry. There were good aesthetic reasons why you chose to have borders, were there?
Yeah, and this is where we need Steve, because he knows all about the borders.
Right.
Because but the reasons we wanted borders was to indicate which suit the cards were from. Yeah. And
also, kind of, we wanted to make a difference with the major arcana, which don't have borders. I'm sorry, some of you don't like borders, but maybe when the cards are reissued, they won't have borders.
It's only about half of you, strangely enough. I also wanted the borders were indicating You know, the way comic panels are structured, there's this kind of a rivulet runs through them. There's a frame.
Is that a
around
technical term, a rivet?
a rivulet. I
Or did you make that up?
so. It's a small rivulet. So, and sorry, here we go. Distracted. They sort of make the channel between the cards as it would appear in a comic book.
That makes sense.
That was also part of it. But one of the things we might do is take away the borders and.
I'm all for taking away borders myself.
Of course. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Are you going to show them the aces?
I'll show you the aces. If it happens that we do run them again, I've created some new aces, and they're all based on kind of mythical figures from Old England. So we've got George and the dragon there.
Can you see that? Can you see that? That is...
It's another take on the story.
And who's that going to be? The ace of what? Ace of...
Can you read that?
Ace of coins.
Coins.
There he is. There's St. George. Looking rather wistful. Looking a bit sad at having killed the dragon. Because in some traditions, the dragon is the spirit of the land. The dragon energy of the land. So what on earth was St. George doing mucking about with the dragon? Should have let it be, shouldn't he?
Goodness knows, yeah.
How about that? You're seeing this for the first time right here, right now. This is an exclusive. There you go. And that...
The same way that Andy's first time for Andy too.
That is the raw drawing as Rex has come out of his visionary journey. That's what he saw, and that's what he's drawn. Amazing, huh? And that's before it gets inked.
It's my manager here.
Well,
So,
credit where credit's due.
no, fair enough, thank you. Just out of the window. And there we have Britannia,
Britannia.
who's the Ace of Cups.
Wow. There she is, look. She looks a bit fed up to me.
Does she?
Yeah.
Well, she's been around for 2,000 years on English coins.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? She's the only character that has been on coins consistently for 2,000 years.
Wow.
She's now currently on the 50p piece.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I might see if I've got one while you get the next one.
Okay.
Bear with me. Oh, have I got 50p piece?
She's been replaced here and there with a few.
Oh, I've got everything but.
I don't have one either.
No.
Oh, do I? Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, he does.
And there's Britannia, seated as she's normally seen with her lion. Does she have a lion on her?
Just want to hold that right up.
Yeah, go ahead. Better at that than me.
Here's mine. Can you see that? There's
Yeah.
Britannia. It's a bit out of focus. There she is.
And she is the spirit of Britain, really. And
No
that's,
wonder she's looking pissed off. Who's
easy
this?
now. This is King Arthur,
King Arthur. There he is, look. Wow.
as you've never seen him before, maybe.
And he is the Ace of Swords, if I can read that correctly.
That's right.
How about that? What's the bird? Is that? It looks like a magpie to me.
It is a magpie.
It's a magpie.
Yeah.
And Glastonbury Tor in the background.
And that's the Victorian.
Now, legend says that that's where King Arthur is buried, and in the ancient Isle of Avalon, and he will rise again in England's hour of need. Arthur,
So he will.
it's about time.
It's about time.
Could you come back, please? What's the significance of the magpie? Or is
It's a bird that's associated with Arthur.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Now this is Morgan Le Fay.
Cool. This is a bit steamy.
Yes,
I'll warn you.
Ever so slightly steamy.
Wow, look at that. That's getting pretty psychedelic now, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, she is.
Were you on ayahuasca when you were
I was on peyote, ayahuasca,
peyote-wasca?
whatever. I don't know. Everything I could get my hands on.
Look at that. So that is Morgan Le Fay. Look at her hand gestures. what do they call them in India? Mudras? Is that the right term?
I don't know that in English they're called magical passes.
Magical passes.
Yeah.
Magicians in glasses make magical passes.
Did you just make that?
I just made that up.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's
inspiration
going to go down
struck.
in history.
It is.
And can you see what one of the hands is making?
A V sign, is it?
Well, it's actually a hair.
Oh, look at that! That's
if it were going to be shown as a shadow puppet.
Yeah, that's really
And
clever.
the other hand is actually a hair upside down.
That's amazing.
And if you turn the whole thing upside down, you can see what happens.
Can I just
But
point? There's a hair there. She's
yes,
sitting on a hair.
She's sitting on a hair. But I don't want you to do that.
You don't want me to turn it
I
upside
don't want
down?
you to turn upside down there because it's going to be too big a mystery revealed.
Okay, and what's the
See.
bird?
That's a raven.
That's a raven.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
love that.
when Steve gets hold of this, goodness knows what's going to happen when it gets inked.
Yeah.
And Steve gets hold of it. It'll be a very different card, but it'll be beautiful.
So there you go. You've seen it here first. That's incredible.
Thank you very much.
Bit
And
of,
I think
bit of English magic
that's kind of it.
as it happened.
And we've just taken up our 40-minute slot, which I think was about what we planned for. So,
I'm sure it's been a bit chaotic, but there you go. That's unboxings for you. And
sorry about the gap in the middle.
We'll edit that out. We'll edit this bit out.
You won't notice it.
There'll
So
be no gap.
it's left for us. I've always wanted to do this, so it's goodbye from me.
And it's good night from him.
Fantastic! you knew exactly what I meant. You knew exactly what I meant.
I did.
That's great. So, and that's it. So I'm going to just switch off now.
Cheerio.
Thank you and good night.
See you again.